Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we are here to talk about my power sheets. I know I probably say this every time we do one of these videos, but I am so thankful that I decided to jump all in with the power sheets this year. And I think that not only accomplishing my goals, but I think one of the greatest things about the power sheets this year is all of the messages and comments that I've gotten from you saying that you got the power sheets and that they're helping you do things in your life. It's just so rewarding to see you accomplishing all these things as well. I am so glad that we're doing this together and we're halfway there. And guess what? It doesn't matter. I don't care if you didn't do anything in the last 6 months. I don't care if you accomplished 0 things on your power sheets. We're starting fresh. It is like a fresh start. Laura Casey talked about this in a number of places. Pretend that July 1st is January 1st. There is nothing super magical about January 1st, and July 1st can be just as much of a fresh start, or August 1st or August 12th, whatever works for you. Just start wherever you are right now. So let's get into this because these videos always end up being super long. I'm gonna start by going through my June power sheets and how everything went there and how I felt about it. Did I do it? Did I not do it? And then we will go through July and I'll share with you everything that I've set up for the month of July. So here's a snapshot of how my June power sheets turned out. It was pretty good. It wasn't the best month I had all year, but it wasn't as bad as May. So we're making progress. So the monthly action items, the first one I didn't do, it's the address file. That keeps hopping from month to month. I keep meaning to do it. I'm not putting it on July for now because I think it just needs to take a break and I need to really decide if it's something that I want to spend time on because clearly I'm not making time for it. The next one was schedule an allergy appointment. I did that. I found an allergist that was near my office. That was within my insurance, so I have an appointment for July. The next one is to take a dance class. I did not do that. I scheduled it. I had a plan to take a dance class. If you watch that weekly vlog, I was gonna take a dance class. And then I went out the night before the dance class and that next day I just couldn't do it. The next one is to clean the storage space. I did that. I showed that on a weekly vlog as well. I like the way it looks. What I didn't like about it though is I bought containers for the space instead of for what was going into the space. So I bought these plastic containers. I already owned 6 of them that I bought on Amazon. They come in a pack of 6. And so I bought 6 and they fit so well. And then I had other stuff like scattered through the rest of it. I noticed that like 12 would fit perfectly. So I ordered another set of 6 and I was like, it'll be perfect. It'll be so beautiful and organized. Except that then my artificial Christmas tree did not fit in the box anymore. So I had to store it somewhere else in my apartment, which ended up being the bottom of my closet, which, well, that's the next one on the list. I did clean out the bottom of my closet and I got all that stuff out and that was great. And it made a nice open space for my Christmas tree. So I need to figure out what I'm gonna do about that because I don't like the current setup. I mean, I love the way that my storage space looks, but I don't like having my Christmas tree in the bottom of my closet. Okay, so we did bottom of the closet. The next one is the July tending list. I've obviously done that. The next one is make a trip outline. I did that. I love the way that it turned out. All I did so far was outline the days that we're gonna be gone, when our flights are, when we land, and adding in like the flight information, like the details, and then when we can check into the hotel, what the hotel number is. And so now I can just kind of see where the big pockets of space are and what I have to work with in terms of booking other things. And then the last one was to work on my plancation presentation. Obviously I did that because I gave it. Okay, the weekly action items. So the first one is to take some time to plan the week with Sam. And this is something that we have been doing earlier in the year. It wasn't like brand new for June. I just kind of wanted to focus in on it and track it. And we did a pretty good job, 3 out of 4. I am still carrying that over to July because I want to continue to track it and make sure that we're doing it every week as a habit until I'm ready to take it off. The next one is to listen to a financial podcast. I did that every single week. I finally made this a priority because I know that learning about financial things is helpful and I do have a good grasp of my budget, but I still want to learn and grow. I am taking it off for July and I'll explain what I'm replacing it with. I don't think that it wasn't valuable doing it in June. I just think that I need to make space for other goals. The next one is a phone-free night. So it's funny because I wrote phone-free night here on my power sheets. I never realized this, but I kept calling it a social media free night and actually let myself still be on my phone if it was like, no matter if I was listening to a podcast or I was texting a friend, as long as I was staying off social media apps, I counted it, which is funny because that's not what I wrote down. Although I only succeeded 1 of the 4. And I don't know. I do want to spend less time on social media, but cutting it off for a whole night I don't think is the solution for me. So I still need to brainstorm ideas and come up with some other ways to try to spend less time on social media, but this was not one of them. The next one is to work on my iPhone notes, and I had somebody ask me about this to like go in depth on it. It's not that complicated. It was just like I saved stuff in notes a million times and it was just a mess. Like there was no organization. So I went through and I deleted the ones that didn't matter. I added labels to the ones that did, and I sort of cleaned it up. And I made really good progress doing it once a week for the 4 weeks. I still have it on my July power sheets in some regards, you'll see, just because I didn't quite finish it. The next one is YouTube analytics. I actually only got to that 2 weeks out of the month, but I think I set up a good system. I have a good structure, like a good spreadsheet and I'm such a spreadsheet nerd, but I have a good system now that going forward, I think it's just gonna be a monthly thing because now I know what I need to do and it's there. I just need to execute each month and look back on the prior month. And then the last one was a productivity bootcamp focus, and I did that 3 of the 4 weeks. It was pretty good. I think it helped a little bit. I think there were 2 that I think really helped that I'm gonna try and think about as I go through like my everyday life. I'm not carrying that over to July just because, again, other goals became more important. But I do think that focusing on one of the productivity tools for each week really did help me implement them into my everyday life. And now I'm just kind of doing them sometimes. Okay, the daily action items. This is where I excelled for the most part, which makes me so happy because you know how much I love a good daily habit. So the first one is AM water. Got this back into my routine, and now I feel like I can take it off and it will stay a habit. I might keep it on my habit tracker sticker. I feel like there's a progression here, right? There's like a habit that I want to incorporate. So I put it on my power sheets and it becomes a focus. It either works or it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, then it goes away. And if it works, then sometimes I keep it on my habit tracker sticker in my planner so that I can keep working on it and track it there, even though it's not part of my power sheets. And then once it's like really ingrained as a habit, then it gets to leave the habit tracker sticker. That's only reserved for really special habits, like making my bed, taking my vitamins. Those are the only 2 I can think of that like graduated from the habit tracker sticker, like got taken off, and I still do them every single day without fail. Okay, the next one was my Apple Watch rings. This was the only one that didn't go so well. I got lazy sometimes. I just wasn't great about it. I am gonna carry that over to July because I do need to keep working on it. I need to stand up when it says to stand up, and not just like stand up at my standing desk, because it doesn't give me credit for that. I actually have to like walk around my floor in my office. But I'm gonna work on it, I promise. The next one is to tidy up before bed. I love this one. I wasn't perfect. I didn't do it. I probably actually only did it like 2/3 of the time. But when I did do it, it made such a difference. I am so glad that I started implementing this. I actually will talk about this more in my favorites video a little bit more. I will elaborate a little bit more on this habit because it was my favorite one that I implemented this month. The next one is, well, I said that too soon. The next one was checking in with my power sheets every single day. It just worked. It just worked. Having this open on my desk and forcing myself to check it out, not forcing, but you know what I mean, like checking in with it every single day, it just worked. And I wish I'd been doing this all year. I had been trying to make it a weekly thing, and then thinking that if I moved all of this over to my planner, it would actually happen. This is where the magic is. I need this open on my desk at all times for the rest of my life. And then the last one is AM reading. I'd fallen out of that habit and I wanted to get back into it, and I did a really good job this month. It's graduated too. And that one actually I don't think will be on the habit tracker sticker in my planner. So let's move on to July. I'm very excited about my July tending list. So here is what it looks like. I actually didn't add any extra stickers yet. I don't know if I'm going to, because it's sitting on my desk. I kind of like the simplicity of it. So for my encouraging words this month, I put that small progress is still progress. I stole that from January. Those were my encouraging words in January, and I just had this, it just felt right because I'm treating July like we're starting over. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to not praise all the progress I have made in the last 6 months, but I also, and that leads to the top priority, I want to forget the guilt. I want to let go of all of the guilt that comes when I don't achieve the things, when I don't get to check it off, when I don't get to put the sticker down, whatever it is. Like, it's okay. It is okay to not be perfect. It's okay to not check everything off. And I just want to like let go of that guilt. Jen Dufour talked a lot about this in her presentation at Plancation, and it resonated so much with me that I wanted to include it somehow in my power sheets. So let's talk about the action items. So monthly action items, first one, August ending list. I wanna make sure that I'm continuing to set up the next month. I think I've created enough accountability here with you that I will never not do this and never not share, but it's nice to have it as a line item and it's nice to check it off. The next two are about the apartment. So the first one is to make a declutter list. And what I wanna make a list of are the small places that need to be decluttered. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you and pretend that some of these places I didn't declutter earlier this year and they have sort of fallen apart, like my makeup stand, my nightstand, the bar cart that I'm looking at right now. Some of these spaces, like I did declutter earlier in the year and they've kind of gotten some clutter back. No, they're not as bad. They're not as in the same state as they were in, but they've gotten cluttered again. And so I want to make a list of all these small spaces, and then you'll see when we get to the weekly what I'm going to do with that list. And then the next one is to email my management company. So somebody suggested, we were at a dinner. It was actually literally yesterday. Thank God I hadn't finished my power sheets yet. That is everything happens for a reason. I was supposed to do these Thursday and I did not. And I saved them to today, and that got added because of last night. So we were talking about the patio. So we were on somebody else's patio and they were saying like how they had gotten something fixed by the super, and I was complaining about the concrete and how the patio needs to get cleaned. I mean, if you watch prior months of these, you know the patio saga. And somebody goes, well, why don't you ask your management company if they will pay and like have it power washed and have it cleaned? And I was like, yes, you are right. I should do that. So they might say no, but they might say yes. So I'm gonna email them. I need to craft it. It's like email, it seems like a silly thing to put on this list, but I'm like really nervous to send it and like need to figure out what to say and how to word it and maybe think if I wanna get my neighbors involved. But like, how awesome would it be if the management company would set up and pay for getting the patio power washed? So that's on my list. Taking a dance class, I moved that from last month to this month. Hopefully it'll actually happen this month. Don't say that again. It will happen this month. All right, the next one is birthdays. That happens to be on every month. Actually, did I not put that on June's? Anyways, I'm just gonna keep doing that. That's also one of those ones, kind of like the tending list, where I'm probably gonna do it anyway, but it's kind of nice when it's on the list and I get to check it off, and it is related to my relationship goal. All right, the next one is to research that AMC club. I wrote club because I didn't know what to call it, but it's where you pay a monthly fee and you can see up to 3 movies a week. Now, I don't think that we will see 3 movies a week, but we live very close to an AMC movie theater, and I think that if we pay for this, we would see more movies than we do now. So I have it as a relationship. I also considered making it the media color, but I think it would be a relationship thing for Sam and I to go to the movies together. So I'm gonna look into it and see if it's really worth it. I think it's like $23 or $24 a month now. They raised the price. We try to go to the morning movies before noon, which is $8. So if we were comparing it just to that, we'd have to go to 3 per month to make it worth it. But we could also go to the evening ones now, and those are like $16. So it's 1.5 of those per month. So we'll see. I'm gonna look into it a little bit more and then decide if we're gonna go for it. That's why I didn't put sign up here. I just put research, because if I decide not to do it, I still get credit. The next one is the YouTube analytics. So again, I moved this to a monthly task. Now that I spent time each week creating a good system, I'm gonna work on it monthly. Visas in huge block letters. We just need to do that. It was on the list and it was off the list and we just never did it. And then the last two are related to the media goal. So the first one is to finish the iPhone notes. Again, I made really good progress working on it weekly in June, but I need like one more good, maybe like 30-minute session to get it to where I want it to be. So I made it like a one-time monthly task. And the last one is to get my Kindle fixed. So I can't get my Kindle to turn on. I haven't done anything besides work on it myself and then Google some like how to reboot it, and none of that's worked. So I'm gonna try like just chatting with Amazon and seeing if they can help, and if they can't, then I take it to Best Buy maybe. I don't know, but I need to get my Kindle fixed because I'm supposed to be starting a book club with my mom and my brother, and I can't start the book until I get my Kindle fixed. Okay, weekly action items. So the first one is a podcast, and this is the organization podcast, which I had on the list back in May. I had I think I had like 3 podcasts on the list in May, and like none of them ended up happening. So then I decided to focus in on one, and last month I chose the finance one. This month I'm doing the organization one. It's called Cocktails and Containers, and I heard a blip of the host on Amy Landino's podcast that I love, and the advice that she gave was great, and I really liked her, so I want to listen to her podcast more. So that is on my weekly to-do. And then spend 1 hour working on the small declutter spaces. So the list that I make, which is the monthly task, so that kind of has to happen first. And then I'm gonna spend 1 hour each week going through those spaces and trying to just power through them. Because again, most of them are kind of small, and it would probably only take maybe 15 minutes each. And while I consider just doing like 1 space per week, there's more than 4. Okay, the next 3 are all relationships. So Plan with Sam I'm carrying over from last month. And then I have Talk to My Mom and Talk to My Dad. I actually hate talking on the phone. I am an extrovert at heart. We talked about my Myers-Briggs during the Q&A. But I don't like talking on the phone except to my parents. Those are like the only people that I just love talking on the phone to them. And I used to do it a lot more. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if I stopped calling or they stopped calling. We all got busy. I don't know. But I want to spend more time talking to them on the phone. So I almost put call mom and call dad. Again, I think wording is really important here. I put talk to mom and talk to dad once a week. And even if it's only a short call, that's okay. But I wanna make sure that I actually am talking to each of them once a week. And then the last one, something again from January, is the phone-free bubble bath. So this was something I implemented in January as part of my like getting off of my phone and getting off of social media, and I loved it. So I think I took it off and then I kind of stopped doing it for a while. And then even though it was off the list, I incorporated a weekly bubble bath back into my routine as kind of like a self-care action item. It was my reward for going to Trader Joe's, going to Jenny Craig and getting all that food home and putting it all away. It was like, you get to take a bubble bath. But I reverted back to my old ways of taking my phone in there with me and like scrolling through social media while I was in the bubble bath. Like, that is not relaxing. That is the opposite of relaxing. So I added it back onto the list. The daily items. So a lot of these are carryover, which made me, I wanted to touch on something quickly, and that is adding 5 new habits each month. That's too many. In my opinion, if you're adding 5 brand new habits, like that's not gonna be successful. So when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, but you put 5 habits on your power sheets every month. And when I think about it though, most of the time, only 1 or 2 of them are brand new. Most of the time, the other ones are things carried over from prior months, or they're things that I was already doing and I just want to track them and make sure that I stay on top of them. For the most part, only 1 or 2. In this case, there's kind of 2 that are new this month. The other 3 are carryovers. So the first 3 are the carryover ones. So we have check in with my power sheets, made such a difference. I definitely want to keep up with that. And hopefully one day it'll graduate and it won't have to be on the power sheets anymore, and I will just check in with them anyway. That's what happened with Cindy, but we'll see. The next one is PM tidy. I want to keep doing that. I want to keep building that habit of tidying up my apartment at night before I go to bed and getting on my Apple Watch rings. So I elaborated this a little bit more last month, but the Apple Watch has 3 rings. It's got exercise minutes, exercise calories, and stand goals. And if I don't work out, I don't usually close the exercise minute. I usually always close the calorie one. That's also because I have it at a low goal. And then the stand goal, if I listen to it and stand up when it says to stand up, I will close it, but I want to work on that again. I'm also starting to track this in my planner, in my life planner, on that year at a glance page. I talked about this in my Erin Condren setup video where I'm going to start tracking my Apple Watch. So hopefully that will motivate me too. Okay, and then the 2 like sort of new ones are to get 10,000 steps. So I'm laughing at myself because sort of the motivator for this is a game. So I started playing that new Harry Potter game where you like walk around and catch stuff, and I love playing it. It makes me very happy. And so I'm gonna try and get steps by also playing that game. And I get usually between 6,000 and 7,000 just like a normal day. Like that's like going to work and coming home and nothing else. Now, if I'm going out after work, I'm going to do something, then I likely will get all 10,000 steps by just doing that. But if I'm just going to work and coming home, I won't get 10,000 unless I make an effort to do it. And I think what I'm gonna try, and we'll see if it gets me my 10,000, is I'm gonna get off a subway stop earlier. Unless the weather is really bad, I am going to get off 1 subway stop earlier. So instead of like a 3-block home walk from the subway, I have like a 13-block block walk home from the subway. So I think that that will help me get my 10,000 steps in, and I get to play my game. And then the last one, I sort of talked about this in my Erin Condren folio setup video, and that is to add a little bit more to my PM journaling. I feel like there's so many throwbacks to January on this tending list. So in January, I started something where each night I write one good thing that happened and one bad thing that happened. And it was awesome. And I loved that. It became a habit. It graduated from the Power Sheets, and it's been great. And now I'm gonna add a couple more journaling. I'm gonna add a gratitude journal and then the Erin Condren summer journal that I wanna do at night too. And so I probably need to add another 10, 15 minutes where I get in bed a little bit earlier so I can do that journaling. But I'm tracking that on my Power Sheets because otherwise I can see myself like putting it off and not doing it. And I think the rule is gonna be if I don't do it at night, like if I say, oh, I'm tired, I'm gonna do it in the morning, I don't get the check mark. Okay, that's it. That is my July tending list. I'm so excited. Again, I think the biggest thing that has made the difference for me in the past month is this guy sitting on my desk. It's been so perfect. So let me know in the comments, what did you accomplish in the month of June? Give me one thing that you're proud of that you did in the month of June. It can be really small or it can be huge. I love celebrating with you and celebrating the big and the little wins. So thanks again for hanging out with me and chatting goals. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you so much for watching. Happy planning. Like, well, it would fit perfect. I was like, the next one is to listen to. We need to keep working. We need to keep working. I got a mouse in my pocket. They've gotten decluttered. No, that's backwards. How much time do I have? Oh, I'm so good on time. So good on time. It was my like reward for going to Trader Joe's and joining to Jenner's Craig and working on and getting. Okay, that's it. That is my June, not June.